One of the things I need to remind myself from time to time is that I'm not making these videos to make videos. I know that seems kind of weird, but it's true. I'm making these videos not so that I can create content and have people follow me on YouTube. I'm doing this as a way to hold myself accountable to achieving my goal of weighing 187 pounds or less by the end of this calendar year. Well, Billy, why are you even saying that? I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Because you and I have just sat here for the better part of a good half hour, taking and retaking the beginnings of videos, none of which are going to make it onto the screen because we're being too focused on how good is the quality of the video and we're failing to recognize its intended purpose. The purpose of the video is not to make videos. It's to help ensure that I do what I need to do to reach my goal by the end of the year. One of the promises that we made early on is that we would track some categories of exercise and that each week we would do better than we did the previous week. In other words, we're not trying to be the most fit person in the world. We're not trying to create an exercise program that everybody who tunes in would say, oh my God, that's a great program. Let me do that too. What we're simply trying to do is beat the previous week. In week 8, I did 310 minutes on the exercise bike. In week 9, I did 315. In week 8, I did total crunches of 705. In week 9, I did 1,000. And in week 8, I did 376 leg lifts. In week 9, I did 500. Not only did week 9 beat week 8, but I found that there were certain days toward the end of this past week that I did more crunches and I did more leg lifts on a single day than I did in the entirety of week 1 or week 2. So I'm seeing myself acting in ways that are completely different than the way I was acting at the beginning of this project. And if I just keep this up, I'm going to continue to move toward my goal, and I will not fall into recidivism, which is the retreat into previous unworkable behaviors that got us into the, let's say, the trouble that we found ourselves in when we said, I want to achieve this goal. I don't want to be where I'm at. I was there 64 days ago. Where I am today is I'm in a completely different place. I love where I'm at. Now, I'm not where I want to be. I'm still working toward it, but I really love where I'm at. What I mean by that is that I love the way I eat. I love the way I exercise. I love these habits that I've created. And I love the accountability structure of making a daily video because that increases my level of accountability. It's easy to go back on something when I'm the only one who knows I'm doing it. But it's a lot harder when I make those declarations public. And I know if I'm about to backslide that I'm going to need to make a video about this and report it to some people. And I just don't really want to have to do that. So that keeps me from making a lot of mistakes that I think if I wasn't making these videos, I would have been making over the last 64 days. So thank you for watching and supporting me in achieving one of my goals. And I hope that if you find this content valuable, that I'm not going to ask you to subscribe or like the video. What I'm really going to ask you to do is subscribe to one of your own goals and dreams. Like yourself enough to do what you would need to do to go out and take the next big, bold, bright step toward that future because you absolutely deserve it. I sure know that I do. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.